The other games we haven't shown you yet, as all 16 NBA teams were on the floor over the weekend. Tobias Harris led the way with 37 for the Sixers yesterday. They took a Game 1 win over the Wizards, 125-118. Joel Embiid added 30. Sixers a 1-0 lead in that series. We showed you the drama at the Garden last night, tied at 105. With less than a second remaining, Ice Trae, they call him, Trae Young with the floater to silence the crowd and give the Hawks a 2-point win in Game 1 over the Knicks. And then if you didn't stay up late last night, you missed Dillon Brooks and John Morant combining for 57. The 8-seed Memphis steals Game 1 over the 1-seed Utah, which played without Donovan Mitchell, 112-109. And then we opened the show this morning with LeBron and Anthony Davis held to a combined 31 points. AD really struggling as the Suns took Game 1 over the Lakers. Davis shooting 5 for 16 from the floor. The Lakers will look to bounce back on Tuesday. And so here we go. Our favorite odd couple, Zach Lowe, and Big Perk, Kendrick Perkins, getting up with us today. Big Perk, I will come to you. I mentioned all 16 teams in action over the last 48 hours. What was your number one takeaway from the weekend?
Well, Greeny, it had to be the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Just think about it. This team went into Utah, one of the hardest places to play in, and get a win. Utah beat people by 10 plus or more during the regular season. This young core is resilient. Dillon Brooks and John Morant, that's one of the most underrated backcourts in the game. And you know what, Greeny? Let me tell you something. It's not going to get easier for the Utah Jazz because now this Memphis Grizzlies team, they have confidence. They have swagger. And like my grandmother say, they have old souls, baby. They really do. They have old souls, and they play with a great, inspiring type chemistry.
For as young as they are, I agree with you. They basically won 3 playoff games now, consecutively, beating San Antonio, Golden State, and then taking Game 1 last night. Zach Lowe, how about you? What was your number one takeaway from the weekend?
Well, I can't speak to the age of anybody's soul, but number one would be the West looks wide open. If you had to pick a winner to win the West right now, who would it be? The Lakers are down, the Clippers are down, the Mavericks are up, the Grizzlies are up, the Suns look like a juggernaut, and some of the young kids in their first playoff games, Dillon Brooks, John Morant, Devin Booker, Trae Young, welcome to the stage. They look ready, baby.
It was a really good weekend in a lot of different ways. All right, I like that. Let me stay with you a second, Zach. We opened the show today with the Lakers. Anthony Davis, a minus 18 in the game yesterday. LeBron James with the shoulder. Who knows what was going on. You know, he had a little bit of a controversy off the floor over the weekend and all the rest of that. Are the Lakers in trouble?
Yeah, they're in trouble. I mean, if LeBron and AD, and particularly LeBron, is just not going to put his imprint on the game for 48 minutes, he can't wait till the last 5 minutes when they're down by 12 to start posting up and playing bully ball and all that. If he can't impact the game for 48 minutes, the Suns are good enough to win this series. Absolutely.
What do you think, Big Perk?
I think Zach didn't get enough sleep last night. First of all, Zach, listen, the Lakers are not in trouble. Do we remember last year what happened in the postseason? They lost game one majority. They lost game one majority of the time. They always are going to bounce back. Anthony Davis is not going to have that type of performance that he had yesterday. I was very upset with him. He acted like he was allergic to the paint. He didn't get to the free throw line, settling for jumpers. But we know that he's going to bounce back with those Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain type numbers. And I'm just disappointed that you had the audacity to come on here today and say that the Lakers are in trouble.
Here we go.
Here we go. I expect better out of you. And for you to come on here to say that this morning, early this morning, is just disturbing to me.
I picked the Lakers in 6. I'm sticking with the Lakers in 6 because I don't believe in changing your prediction after every game. I agree they will bounce back and play better. I'm just saying, if LeBron, because of his ankle, can't be LeBron, yes, the Suns have a chance to win this series. No one wants to think for some reason that they have a chance. If LeBron's in that stage, they do. And I do agree they will bounce back, and AD will probably put up 35 and 15. I expect the Lakers to win Game 2.
All right, again, we mentioned earlier, our analytics, our BPI now favors the Suns. Las Vegas still favors the Lakers. Super quickly, Big Perk, out of the 16 teams you saw this weekend, who looks like the NBA champ? Just who do you think? We've seen them each play one game. Granted, it is a tiny sample size. Who looks like the champion right now? Big Perk.
It's the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, just think, they struggled, and I get it. They're playing against a injured Boston Celtics team. But the fact of the matter is that I never thought I would say the Brooklyn Nets will win that game on defense. Granted, they only scored 104 points, but they held the Celtics to 93 points, I believe it was. So I'm looking at this Brooklyn Nets team, and I believe that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and James Harden all combined for like 80-something points. That's crazy.
Yeah, they can beat you with an 8-minute spurt. You cannot play them for 40 minutes, and they will just win the game in the other 8. Guys, stay with me here. We'll come back to you off the top of the hour. Much more on the NBA playoffs from the NBA. Lakers, Suns, LeBron James. Game 1 against Chris Paul, his old companion. This is their first playoff matchup in their history. But early on, take a look at Chris Paul. Just watch the spot shadow. Down goes Paul. He's got a shoulder, and it looks bad. Even LeBron over to check on him. He would go to the locker room. He would later return. Meanwhile, the theme of the day was Anthony Davis struggling. Davis just 5 of 16 from the floor, a minus 18 for the game. Finished with just 13 points. Again, couldn't get anything to fall yesterday, and that was a factor. Fourth quarter, Suns are up 11. Cameron Payne turning it over. LeBron James going in the other direction. The Lakers trying to make a comeback. They're within 9. Later, LeBron at the line. I want you to watch this sequence closely, as this time he is the one who's going to go down, and it's LeBron who is grabbing the shoulder. And then all mayhem would break loose. Take a close look here. I want you to watch. It's Payne and Alex Caruso as James misses. This is Caruso getting shoved. He doesn't like it. He gets up. He flips the ball away. Now they're drawing. Now here comes Montrezl Harrell from halfway across the floor. This would take a little while to get sorted out. Payne would get ejected, but in the end, this one would belong to Phoenix. Devin Booker, 34 points, 8 assists. Suns take game 1, 99-90, and all the talk after was about AD and a tough first day.
There's no way we're winning a game, let alone a series, with me playing the way I play. So, this was on me. I take full responsibility.
Anytime he comes to the pressure and tell you guys we can't win without him or with him playing the way he played, he always responds. So looking forward to that. And when AD is AD, then we're the Lakers.
And look who has gotten up with us here. It's Jay Will, the Jay from KJZ on ESPN Radio, spending a few minutes with us. All right, Jay, so the Lakers minus 18 with AD on the floor yesterday. How would you describe your level of concern?
Here's what really bothers me, that and people out there who watch sports and athletes who play this game, you hear coaches talk about this, Greeny. When you're playing against a team like the Phoenix Suns, a young basketball team, you know what you do? You come out right away in the opening minutes of the game and you put your foot on their neck. You let them know it doesn't matter what you did throughout the regular season, you do not belong on the court with us. We are going to send a message right from the beginning that we are the better team and we defensively are going to dominate you. And here's one of the frustrations I have with Anthony Davis, as he is a top 5 talent in the league, because he is. A lot of the times, and we can say this as fans, that top 5 talent does not translate into him being a top 5 player. And last night was a prime example of it. I saw DeAndre Ayton dominate the game in ways that AD should dominate the game. Now I know he's owned this. I heard him at the post presser. I heard him say all the right things. But I want to see Anthony Davis be nasty. I want to see Anthony Davis with 16 rebounds. I want to see Anthony Davis with 42 points like he had the original meeting when they first played. These are the type of things when it comes to playoff basketball that you need to see AD be right from the beginning. I know we potentially will see that in game 2, but this is a huge disappointment for the Lakers to start things off.
How about from LeBron, with his teammate not carrying the load? LeBron wasn't able to carry them to win either. What did you see from him in game 1 of the series?
I think LeBron James was trying to find his spots. He was trying to find his place. Obviously, with the CP3, with the shoulder, how is the soldier coming into this? I think there was a lot of other things happening as it relates to health and safety protocol that I'm sure bogged LeBron James down before the game. I am not making excuses for LeBron James, but I'll tell you this. In order for the Lakers to actually beat the Suns, they need to shoot a lot better than 26% from the three-point line. And this will be a narrative that follows this team, Greeny. Their ability to space the floor score and knock down shots? And also, can you play Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond together? You can't. These two cannot exist together. It clogs the lane for LeBron James to get to the rack. AD needs to be the 5, and they need to be ready to shoot the ball from the outside and knock down shots. If they're not, the Phoenix Suns are going to win this series.
All right, well, so that brings me to my concluding thought here. Our analytics, our BPI, Basketball Power Index, now favors Phoenix to win the series.
Nope.
Vegas still favors the Lakers.
Nope.
Which way are you going?
Nope. I'm going Lakers, man. CP3 with that stinger, I don't know what's going on with that. I still think the Lakers are the better team. Glad Phoenix got off to a head start, but the Lakers start knocking down threes and they defend the way they can, the Lakers will win this series. I say in 6, Greeny, in 6.
Okay, we'll see. They drop game 1. We'll see where it goes from here. Jay Will back over to the radio. KJZ on ESPN Radio. Thank you, Jay.